Let's get into it. There's a lot
All right.
going
Welcome
on.
to the Master of Unlucky podcast. It's been 3 weeks. We got a lot to talk about
Did you say
tonight.
Master of Unlucky?
I think he did.
Did I say the Master of Unlucky?
Lucky. It's
Or is it
okay.
The Master
We'll
of
get
Unlockheed Martin podcast. We're looking for sponsorships.
Whatever
all
medal
over the
you have
place.
on, you did not win for podcast hosting.
No, I did not. This is for softball, for
Oh.
8 and under softball participation medal.
Congratulations.
Yeah, nothing.
It's reliving your glory days.
Yeah, my daughter's glory days from the summer.
No, I like the version I have in my head better, where it's the medal that you won when you were 8 years old.
I'm
For-
still
and
wearing
you
it today.
still wear it now.
I do. Still wearing it today. I'm champion of nothing. But is
participation.
Taco Bell the champion of chicken sandwiches? Or is this even a chicken sandwich? I don't even know if I want to have that debate.
So let me throw this out there. I think that with one slight adjustment to this thing, it could have been way better. I think it should just been on their regular tortilla, and then it would have been way better.
I disagree.
Okay.
Because I think it was on their gordita,
Yeah, which I'm not a fan of.
which I am a fan of. So I think that's why I like it better that way. Now I will say this. Do I like this thing? Not particularly.
I liked it.
I guess I would not order it again.
If I were to order it again, I would just ask to replace the tortilla. And
What
then
I
it
would
be-
like, though, is if they gave me a chicken sandwich supreme and put lettuce and tomato and sour cream on
You
it.
probably could do that.
That's what I would like them to do. I want a chicken sandwich, whatever they're calling this thing, supreme.
Yeah.
I don't want the spicy one. Not a big
We might
fan
need
of
to.
the jalapenos.
Should we go at some point workshop, see who can make the best chicken?
Like, are we
taco.
talking like chef wise, or are we talking like go to
No, we
random
go to Taco Bell and we make custom orders.
Okay. You know, I wonder, can I do that from the app?
Maybe.
I don't think you can do it from the app.
Okay.
You can try if you want, but I think it's the standard fare in there as far as customizations. To me, this thing tasted like if you grabbed one of the hotcakes from McDonald's Big Breakfast and you put a mediocre, and I mean that okay, like a middle tier fast food chicken tender
Oh yeah.
into the hotcake. That's what this tasted like
Okay.
to me.
Yeah.
And it was fine,
Yeah.
and which is why I give it a 5.
I am in agreement.
Okay, you can
Fine.
make it a supreme, but only sour cream and tomatoes. You cannot add lettuce to it.
And you can't customize your.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
here we go.
you're right.
Yeah, I can add lettuce to this.
Can you change the shell?
I mean, now we're talking supply chain
Yeah.
issues.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can change the sauce. Does not appear you can
bet they
change
do
the
it.
shell.
I bet they do it if you asked.
Yeah, that was not an option. But I can definitely make this thing a supreme if I would like to.
Well, you better hurry because it'll be off the menu in like 2 days.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
might be soon.
Sorry, I've
Yeah,
got all
no,
of
you're
these
fine.
controllers all up
I'm-
in your business.
I'm used to it.
I know, right? There's just controllers everywhere. Wasn't prepared for the evening, but just as I'm saying, I'm not prepared. I don't have a number for this.
Oh, just give it a 5.
Okay, I'll give it a 5.
All right,
I was
the
gonna.
Master Unlocking gives it a 5 out of 10. Congratulations, pancake chicken sandwich. What are we having next, Caleb?
Well, there's 2 options here, I think.
Okay.
And they're both from Hardee's.
Fantastic. Are either of them
So-
breakfast options?
No,
They're
well,
denied.
maybe. So,
Okay.
so they have this new hot honey menu.
I did see
Oh.
that.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And the other option is they have a collaboration going with Adult Swim right now, which is very
That's
strange.
weird because Hardee's is closed by the time
Yeah,
Hardee's
Family
is-
Guy airs or American Dad airs.
and I don't know how you
Which,
do it.
by the way, is not on there anymore.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Family Guy and American Dad are no longer on Adult Swim.
Weird.
The license expired, and so yeah, for
They-
years.
They also just chopped off the hour that it was on,
Yeah.
so it starts
to be on
at
at 9.
9 o'clock now instead of 8,
Oh, okay.
which is where Family Guy used to air.
So,
Mhm.
well, that makes sense because there was a time where, between like local syndication and then TBS and then Adult Swim, there was a chance that Family Guy could be on 3 networks at the same time.
Oh, easy. Like the syndication of like UPN,
Right.
whichever. I don't even know. Whatever is UPN still a thing?
Don't go down
okay.
that road.
So
Not
all you have to
definitely.
do is upgrade your combo meal to the Adult Swim meal,
Okay.
which gets you a little. It's kind of like a mini. What are those things called? Funko Pop. It's like a little
why do I want
version
that?
of a Funko Pop.
Okay.
Of
Yeah.
one of the Adult Swim characters. But I think we should do this hot honey thing. Hot honey chicken sandwich lineup.
Done.
Okay.
Do I
Yes.
need to pick one?
Well, we could, if this thing would stop scrolling every 2 seconds, I could see it.
Yeah, I'm looking through the room just to see if there was anything else random here, but
No, the hot honey's happening. Save
Hot
your
honey's
energy.
I
happening.
can't
Save
really
your
tell.
energy.
Okay.
Their website is complete garbage.
Oh man.
Hardee's or
Hardee's.
Hardee's website's pretty.
So I
bad.
can't tell.
Really
There are
everything
3
on
options
Hardee's is
on
bad.
this. Oh, here we go. The hot honey hand breaded chicken and waffle sandwich. The hot honey hand breaded chicken biscuit. And there
That's
was one
breakfast
more.
there.
I'm getting the biscuit.
It's probably just a regular chicken
Or
sandwich.
or
that.
the hot honey hand breaded chicken sandwich. Should we divide and conquer again?
There you go.
That waffle thing sucked ass.
Did it?
I will. I think we could.
It's honey with a feisty kick. And it's
Their website just started playing this.
Well, it should. I mean, I think it should play all the time.
Your instincts are correct. Putting the microphone up to your phone. Your
Y-
instincts
your
were
instincts were
correct.
correct,
Right? I
yeah.
wasn't going to interrupt you.
No.
I was going to let her finish.
I'll take the. I didn't mind that waffle.
You
so-
didn't mind the waffle thing?
No.
Okay.
So I'll take that bullet.
That leaves
and
you with the
then
Sando.
I'm perfectly fine with the
You
Sando.
get Sando, you get the biscuit.
Oh, nice.
We'll report back.
All right.
And if you would like to, it's not. I don't think it's a requirement for this,
Mhm.
but feel free to upgrade to the Adult Swim meal to get your little
I might.
thing.
You never know. I'll have to investigate that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
more.
the what you get out of it for said price. Because if it's just a Funko Pop, then I'm good with.
I don't know if there's a price involved. I think you just get the combo.
I mean, for the
Say what-
because I'm already going to spend $12
Yeah.
easily just
Yeah.
with getting a sandwich and fries.
You have to get the curly fries. Like that's
Yeah.
not optional.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
they are good.
Okay.
All right, there it is. That's whenever we feel like coming back.
Yeah.
Food challenge. Sorry, last week didn't happen, but life happens. Anyway, we got a lot of video games to talk
We
about.
do. I have finished 3 video games. since
You
we
have
talked
finished
last
3. Okay. I was just like, I started
Wow.
4, quit 1. Well, quit 1 that I was playing before, but then I've also quit 1 since then too. What was your number? Now we're talking about what's your number?
I started one new game.
Okay. Finished any?
I finished one.
Okay.
Okay. I want to know what Jason finished.
I finished 12 minutes
Okay.
Oh,
today
Oh.
when I remembered, I should finish 12
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
That game sucks.
Okay.
That game sucks.
I
Game's
can't
bad.
do it.
I'm
I
glad
can't
we're
do
on the
it.
same page there.
I can't do it.
For a minute there, I thought you were going to be like,
Well,
this
I
game's
hadn't
amazing,
seen
and then-
everything. I hadn't seen everything for, and I'm sad because this is a novel thing for the
Mhm.
most part, but narratively and just structurally,
It's
it's
a
just
mess.
such a mess. It's such a mess. Near the end there, when you're trying to can you imagine like I looked at a guide this afternoon because I wanted
kinda
to
had to.
finish it.
Yep.
But
Mhm.
can you imagine like stumbling through the end of that game for hours?
Listening to that same conversation time after time.
I
just
did
to
it
make
for about
one
45
slight
minutes and
adjustment.
Good
couldn't-
for you.
And I couldn't do it. I was like, I gotta get out of this loop.
Yep.
And
Or like to get the true ending. I don't even remember what it was now. It's been.
I don't even know if that.
But
I don't know
Yeah,
if I
like,
did
you
the
could-
true
the
ending.
book off of the bookshelf. It's like what?
Yeah, there's the book. There's the book and the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have done
In
that
that
just
room.
because I was like, all right, now that I'm just in this guide, like I'm just gonna
Yeah.
finish this off. Yeah, that game was good for about 12 minutes.
Hey.
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 It's frustrating though because there is some novel stuff in there.
There
is. There is some good voice acting. There's some bad voice acting.
Oh yeah.
But there's some good in there too. So I don't want to be like this game is like the worst of all time, but it is a pretty big mess all around.
Very much so. And the ending, holy crap, does it suck?
It's pretentious.
It's pretentious. It's just gross.
Uh-huh.
It's just like
All of it. All of those things.
it was as M. Night Shyamalan meets like bad Pornhub.
It's really not. Yeah. If that's where they were really intending to go this whole time,
Okay, writing that down for our podcast.
there you go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Every time I have I've got something dumb to say.
The key is the bad Pornhub part.
I think it's just that, just bad Pornhub.
So I think we're good. We don't need to talk about this anymore.
I
do
just
we?
I had higher hopes for that thing.
So
I
did
think
I.
we all did, and I still think there is something there.
Yep.
And maybe someone out there can learn the lessons from this
Mhm.
and then take those and apply it and make something like really good. And then I'll have to do a podcast years later by myself and talk about how 12 Minutes was the most influential thing ever. But
could be.
I can hate it at the same time,
You
but
could.
it did influence some things
It
down the
could.
line. So
I hope it does. Maybe I
was-
would.
If
so-
nothing else, I would
oof.
appreciate swinging for the fence on better voice acting. Like they went out there and they got some voice talent.
Mhm.
Like
Well, they've got.
You know,
they got Annapurna behind them.
we've had a lot of years of the same like 6 voice actors doing every voice in video
Yeah.
games. So I appreciate that. But yeah.
It also they weren't like you said. There was some good, and then there was some bad in there too. Like and Jason's just wincing just because
it's just ick.
it was a lot of ick. A lot of ick.
You could have went so many other directions, and that's the one. That's the
Yeah,
that's the story.
that's the
that's the
story they
one?
told.
That's the big
That's what you went with.
that's the big reveal, right? What are you?
Of all the ideas you had, you went with that one.
What's wrong with you? Like no, anywhere else. I don't.
Mhm.
Oh, man, that's when somebody in the room's got to be like, stop it, no, get a hold of yourself. That happens all the time in media, various forms.
I'm sure.
All right, so that's what I finished.
So you finished that. Caleb, let's start with one of the games you finished.
Quickly, because we already talked about it a ton. I did finish Psychonauts 2.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're done with that.
No.
Oh,
I don't
He was pretty
think
close.
so.
stuff,
Yeah,
or-
collectibles and stuff. I
Mhm.
didn't have. I have now 100% of that game.
Okay.
Everything's done. I've already talked about how much I love that game. I think it's incredible. So we don't have to keep talking
Alright.
about that.
And you still enjoyed it after the ending.
Yeah.
Which sometimes that changes people's
Yeah.
views on things for the
It's-
better or worse.
I mean, I've realized that over the past few years, it is very hard to end a video game.
It's hard to end a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's hard to end
It's
a
hard to end a
movie.
TV
hard to end a TV
series,
show.
yeah.
It's hard.
Endings are tough.
Mhm.
That's
So-
why we celebrate them when they
Yeah.
do land.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's for sure. All right. And anything else that we want to talk about that we have, like before we start to get into new stuff? Like,
You've played The Artful Escape.
I did play
you
The
have not?
Artful
I did not
Escape.
play that.
I played it for like 30 minutes today.
Yeah.
I watched my daughter play it
Yeah.
for 30 minutes.
Let her do that.
It was fine. It's a pretty video game,
It's pretty.
but I was only 30 minutes.
It's
So.
this is one I dropped off on.
Oh, okay.
It's only 4 hours long. I made
Oh.
it 2 hours in, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Hmm.
It's just not good. All you do is just slide down hills and play the same guitar riff over and over again. You just hold down like the X button to like jam, and it's just. I was not on the proper psychedelic medication or drug to play this game. No, I shouldn't say to play this game, to enjoy this game.
There was a point in time where my daughter was playing it, my son came down, my wife came down, we were all hanging out watching her play it. So I was surprised that I didn't have to help her. And so
It's-
she's like playing it and I'm just watching it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And if she can handle those things, then it's not a gamey game.
It is.
Right.
It is like I said. It is holding down a button to play a guitar and pressing a jump button.
It
That
kind of
is it.
reminds me of the Telltale games in that way.
Mm.
Like I'm along for the ride here,
Mhm.
and I'm going to just absorb this story because this isn't really a video game.
No, and the story itself, like to start with, wasn't bad until I got to the point where I was having a late night talk show experience with a bullfrog with a crown on.
Mm.
And then I realized I wasn't high enough for this.
Okay. Okay.
I was like, this is just weird now.
Okay. I really enjoyed this afternoon watching it and looking at it. I think it's a really pretty game.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm much higher on it than you are,
Okay.
for sure.
Continue if you will.
I may just let someone else hold the controller and watch it
There you go.
because it is a really pretty game. You got to give it that.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I just got tired of hearing the same sound, the same guitar riff over
I can see that.
and over and over. And it was just kind of like, oh, yeah, look at that landscape. That's cool.
I don't think I'm planning on playing it myself.
No.
So we'll see how that goes.
It's Game Pass though, right? So,
It's Game
Oh,
Pass.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's Game Pass. Yeah. I think it's only $20 even if it wasn't Game Pass, but it's, 4.5 hours long. So they knew what they were doing with this. Speaking of Game Pass, so I'll start with a smaller game that I played called Superliminal.
Okay.
Any idea what this is?
Nope.
Okay. So this is Portal meets The Missing, is what I would call this.
So it's like 2D,
It's
side scrolly
Mm,
with portals.
No.
Oh.
So think of The Missing.
So
It's 3D. You have to
the
solve
missing.
The Missing. No, wait. The Witness. Shit. I wrote down the
I was like,
Nope, that's the
What?
Missing is J.J. Macfield and the
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
yeah.
Nope, sorry, The Witness, The Missing. Sorry, so
Okay.
The Witness.
this
is-
sounds like the way you describe that sounds like the Talos Principle, which is a game that I would also describe as Witness meets Portal.
Right.
Okay, yeah, which I never played. So everything is all the puzzles are like forced perspective. So you have to like move around the environment to figure out where things are. You can pick up and move things to make things like, so if like I was looking at this thing right here, like if I pick it up and move it to a different space, like look up at it, it'll make it look bigger. And then when I drop it, it becomes that size.
Oh.
So then like you could now use it to jump on to climb up to the next area. And so you're just constantly finding your way through different rooms and different things like that. And because that's where the portal thing comes in, because it's basically you're just trying to get out of a room. So you need to figure out your way out of this figure out the puzzle to get out of this area. But then it's also like everything's an environmental puzzle like The Witness. I'm probably like an hour and a half into it. It's super quirky like Portal as well. Like it's got somebody who's like an announcer who's talking you through everything. I think it's like if I remember right, it's like a sleep study that you're doing. So you're dreaming this whole thing, and they're walking you through different experiments, kind of like GLaDOS would and everything else. So yeah, it's not as good as Portal, but it is something at least interesting if you're in the mood for something different, instead of shooting somebody or whatever, it's like, hey,
When
here's
did
this weird puzzle game.
release?
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I feel like I might have downloaded it, just not played it.
It was highlighted like in the summer of like whatever Xbox event thing. It was part of their like, hey,
Oh,
this
you
is
remember
our
Summer
Game
of
Pass.
Arcade? And how good
Yeah.
that was.
I know, right?
Oh, Do I? Man, everything about video games at that time, amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just a random new game I played. Anybody else got a new game they want to hit on that you played?
I finished Kana, I believe is the correct way.
Is it
to
Kana
pronounce
or
it.
I always thought it was Kenna, but it's
Well,
Kana?
I think she says Kana in the
Okay.
game, so I'm gonna go with Kana Bridge of Spirits.
Okay, how was that?
It's decent.
Okay.
I think I might have my expectations a little too high for it.
It looks nice.
It does look really nice. It really, the more I think about it, it reminds me a lot of like the late PS2, early 360 era when they were trying to figure out open world games.
This is indie, right? This
yeah.
isn't a big studio behind
Yeah.
this.
So like those early, not the rebooted Tomb Raider, but the ones before that, like
I don't think I even
Legends
played
and
those.
Underworld.
Yeah, I didn't even play them.
Or like what are the other ones? That Captain America game, or
there was a Captain America game. Like
yeah,
this?
I'm trying to think of other
I don't
like
even know
good
what you're talking about.
examples. But like Viking Battle for Asgard, did you ever play that?
No.
Okay. It's those games that are
Yes,
like
yes.
they're open world, but they also kind of limit you to somewhat linear paths. And it has some unique stuff going on in there, but for the most part, it's just, when combat comes up, you bash guys with a stick. The rot, the little creatures that you can control, like Pikmin or whatever,
Okay.
they can help you do stuff, but it's not very deep. You basically, like, when there's an opportunity for them to do something, you hit a button, you hit square, and then they'll do something. Like there's a square on that thing, so let me hit it, and then they'll distract an enemy. Or there's a square over here on this thing, let me hit that. Oh, I got healed because I hit square on that. So you're not really like sending them out to do stuff, really.
Or having like, there's not like a mini game or anything that you have to do with them. It's just press the button.
Yeah, it's just press the
Huh.
button.
Do you have to like? Is there any sort of management with them, like in a menu or anything like that?
You can put on different hats. You can the collectibles are hats.
Now
and then
you're
you can
talking.
put hats on them all.
Hats.
Yeah,
Now we have to play it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, exactly.
I would say it's worth playing.
Okay.
Especially for you, Logan. I think you would like
Really?
this. Jason, I
Okay.
don't know if you'd like this or not. I think there are other things maybe you should.
I mean, how many decapitations out of dismemberments do you give it?
Yeah,
No.
it's not like that.
Is this like what is the level of skill needed to play this game?
The difficulty is actually, that's another one of my criticisms of it. It's really all over the place.
Oh.
I ended up putting it down on the easiest difficulty, like the story difficulty or whatever, because I
Okay.
just got tired of dealing. You'll go into one battle and it'll be like, oh, I comboed this guy one time and he's dead. Okay, good. You go to the next battle and it's like, holy crap, there are things flying all over the place at me.
Yeah.
It's kind of all over. So
I was just wondering if like my oldest daughter would be interested in this.
If-
Like it's a
there are put it on story difficulty,
Okay.
absolutely. And there are spots where she might need help still,
Okay.
even on that.
Where do you put this on the compendium between an Assassin's Creed and Immortals?
In terms of what? In terms of quality?
blood.
No, in terms of in terms of I guess mediocrity.
Those two games are both way better than this.
Really?
Yeah. This
Oh,
is
boy.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
there's a lot of puzzle to it, which I appreciated. But the combat is just not great.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So it was like every time there would be a puzzle section, I'd be excited. I'd be like, okay, cool, I could get to solve this, whatever. And every time there was like, oh, there's going to be a bunch more combat here, I don't really want to do this.
How does it look on your PS5?
It looks great.
Okay.
It really does.
It's
look
one of those
So
that's
there's
actually
that.
like designed for it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. There,
Yeah.
at least why is
Mhm.
it? Because I think that when we all originally saw that game premiere, we all thought the look and feel of that game was nice. So, I guess.
Yeah, and the other part to it is the trophies are pretty glitchy. Yeah.
Aren't
Well,
we
first of
past
all,
that? God bless.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's one trophy for beating it on the hardest difficulty.
No,
which,
thank you.
First of all, screw that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Secondly, that difficulty doesn't even unlock until you finish the game once.
How long is the game?
If you're speed running it, maybe like 5 hours, but if you're playing it normally, maybe like 8 to 10.
Okay.
But yeah, so there was an exploit for that trophy, where you start the game on the hardest difficulty and then you reload your old save with the easy, and then it would unlock.
Haha.
They patched that.
Boo.
I know. I'm like, why? I don't understand when devs patch stuff like that.
Terminator Salvation never patched that.
No. That was a
And that made
that
people,
made people
play
buy
that game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're
I love how we all know about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It shows the
We
era.
all did
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
But
God.
like you're making people you're making more people angry than you're making people happy when you do that, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I don't understand. Like Borderlands did that for like a bunch of different stuff too, and it just I never understand like why in a single player game you fix stuff like that. But anyway,
I digress.
but yeah. So the other thing is the collectible achievement or trophies are pretty buggy too. I did all of the is there meditation spots? They're like spots you can find in the environment that increase your health permanently if you sit at them.
A
And-
hot spring, you said.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and
Campfire.
that trophy didn't unlock, so I redid them all like 3 times, didn't unlock, and
No, thank you.
then I was like, you know what? I have a save right before the final boss. I'll just see if because the very last meditation spot is at the very end of the game, so I was like, well, maybe I just need to sit at the last one again. So I beat the final boss again, redid that, and then his health bar just stayed at 0, and cutscene nothing triggered, so it's just completely bugged. So I am sitting with 2 trophies left in that game that I will never get.
Well, you're never gonna ever play on the hardest difficulty for one, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, that whatever.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but I think it's
You're really
fine.
selling me on this.
I think it's decent. I honestly do think Logan, you would have some fun, or your daughter
play it
might.
with her. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we could sit and play it
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
But I don't think it's like required game.
She gets close
or anything.
contact quarantined again. We'll sit around and do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeez, she's been playing so much Splatoon. The girl's like a level 40 something in Splatoon now. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then they announced Splatoon 3 this last week, so she was all jacked up. She's like, when is it coming out? I'm like, they didn't put a date on it. She's like, well, that's dumb. Like, you're not wrong.
That's Nintendo.
That's Nintendo. I'm like, they will say if they gave a date, it would be way beyond that anyway. So
Before we move to TV,
Mm-hmm.
after we adjourn the game segment, I have a question for you guys about Nintendo.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I want to not talk about that yet until we're done with games.
Okay. All right. You want me to start another new game, or Jason, you have another new game that you'd want to talk about?
I have the big game. Other than that, I've just played a crap ton of 2K. I play 2K. I play like 3 games of 2K a day.
Okay.
That's-
That's. I, mean,
I play a lot of 2K.
Okay. So are we? Should we? Do you want me to hit on another game that no one's probably played or
Go
touched?
for it.
Sure.
I played Tormented Souls. That PS2 era Resident Evil. Silent Hill
is that
thing.
out?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's out. I got notes.
Oh man, look at those
I haven't
notes.
played it yet. I have a disc sitting at home ready to play.
I played this game for 6 hours.
6 hours.
It's 10 hours long. I sent it back.
Oh.
So
Wow, that many hours? Okay, all right. He's got notes.
So you know how like when we were
Comfortable here.
okay, yeah. So
Kick
you
up
know
your feet,
you know one of those things like in like WWE when they're going to like punch somebody and they're throwing people out of the ring and they make like 20 camera cuts to do that. That's this game. So like
Okay.
you're walking down a hallway, the camera will make like 18 camera cuts but while you're walking down the hallway, and every time it cuts the camera, it changes the direction of your thumbstick.
So it's like the old Resident Evil games.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the OG tank controls.
Yep.
Yeah. But there's a button for tank controls. You use the D-pad for tank controls and you use the analog stick for regular controls.
Okay.
That don't work. You're constantly
So
changing
the
your
analog
thumbs.
stick still changes?
The analog stick still changes constantly.
Okay.
So you're fighting that a lot of the time. In order to switch weapons, you have to go into the inventory menu. You have to cut completely out of your game. Like these like quality of life things that we take for granted these days.
Yeah. They were very obviously going for Resident Evil 1.
They very much were. The story to this was probably, I would consider this a 14-year-old kid who played a Resident Evil game was like, I'm going to write a story for this game. And they did. And that's the story for this.
Okay.
This is like, so
Is
this,
it better or worse than 12 minutes?
you know, God, the voice acting was at least better. So the point of this is this girl, you were like this girl who gets mailed a picture of 2 twin girls, and then all of a sudden blacks out and wakes up and she has her eyeball taken out inside this mansion.
Okay.
And that is the premise of the story. And now you're trying to figure. There's pictures of these twin girls everywhere, and you're trying to figure out what happened to these twin girls.
Is there an FMV?
There is not.
Oh, well, that's where they messed up.
Yeah. Is there a master of unlocking?
There is not.
Oh, okay. Well,
There's a lot of doors that you can't unlock, and then as you move to other areas of the house, you find a key that you got to remember to go back. When you open up the map is a 3D map. Like you know like when you open up an object and you can spin it around and
Like
stuff
a
to look
Doom
at it.
map?
Oh no, like the Doom map's
like a piece
worse.
of paper that you're.
The flat piece of paper rotates around like a 3D object, like you would look at an object,
Okay.
but it opens up at an angle every time that you can't see, and it's almost impossible to get it back to center so you can actually look at it.
Who's the developer on this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it's anybody.
It's nobody
Yeah.
like that you've ever
okay.
seen. There's no difficulty setting.
Oh.
P cube.
So
you guys know P cube, right?
Oh,
P
yeah,
cube.
P cube.
Yeah,
P
P
cube.
cube.
yeah.
Cube.
So there's literally there's no difficulty setting.
Is it hard?
Insanely hard. You will unload an entire clip into. There's also no aiming. Like so, you just pull up your gun and shoot. There's no aiming up, down. Like you just have to be in the general direction and hope it goes to the right spot.
Oh, okay.
Like there's no reticle, no nothing.
All sounds like RE1.
Yeah.
It is. The ribbons, like basically think of a typewriter ribbon. This is instead of a typewriter ribbon, it is a reel-to-reel like audio device thing. So that's what you use for those. Lost a lot of time not being able to save because they don't give you enough of those. There was the voice acting is absolutely atrocious. I mean, these people they are completely monotone. They're like, "Oh, look at these girls. Wonder what happened to them." Like it is. And then the thing that made me give up was I could not figure out what to do. I was like, "What in the world? Like, how in the world am I supposed to like?" I'm in a surgeon like surgical suite. Like, I just got to this area and I'm like, there's a guy on a table there. Like, there's got to be something I can do with him. I'm like trying to shoot him. I'm walking around looking for buttons. I spent so much time looking for this. I pull up a guide. This is what you had to do to trigger this event. And keep in mind, there is no note or anything anywhere. Everybody was trying to figure out how to do it. So there's tons of this stuff online about this. You had to walk around the surgical table 3 times counterclockwise in order to trigger the event.
That's amazing.
I was done at that point.
And you just sold Caleb. You exit. Caleb enters.
This sounds like some Deadly Premonition shit.
See?
But like nobody even knows it. I'm like you couldn't even move forward in the game. Like, because the only way to get the next item you needed was to kill this like thing on the slab, and I'm like, this is stupid. I was just like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Turn me away though is the difficulty. If it is that hard, I'll just give up.
And the thing is, every person that you kill, like you're unloading a clip into them of stuff, and then they get up again.
Mm.
Like so you have to reload really fast and then shoot them while they're on the ground to hope that they don't come back up and get you. And the run, the difference between running and walking, there isn't one. Other than like her arms move a little faster, like the actual speed at which she moves does not change.
Did you already send this back?
Oh yeah.
I think I might have to see this thing for myself.
If you want to borrow it, I have it.
You
Yeah.
have it?
It is
It's so what's happening
it's so
lately.
bad.
This is I'll segue into game collecting
Mhm.
quickly here.
Ooh, good, I can do that.
Yeah. It seems to me if it's a lower tier game that you're interested in, you need to buy it on launch now. Otherwise, you will not be able to find it because they make so few physical copies of some of these games.
Mm-hmm.
So with this, I was like, I'm just gonna buy it because if I wait 3 or 4 months, it may just be out of stock everywhere.
And this thing's so bad. Like, I mean, it's
Could hold value though.
Yeah.
You know, from a
Could.
collector's perspective, we're not talking about whether or not something's good.
right. So since we're talking game collecting, and we'll take a quick break from game talk,
Okay.
and I'll do a quick show and tell.
Okay.
So, a couple weeks ago, found a
You
random.
got all this at Walgreens apparently.
Yeah.
If
Went
you-
to a
If
random.
you tell us you got all this stuff for free out of some dude's attic.
No, I didn't. I paid for it.
Okay.
Not much though. So I somehow just because I didn't play these as like you guys did. I just thought I would own them since they were $3 a piece. I got Grand Theft Auto 3 for $3.
Nice.
I'll hit this one next. But a Grand Theft Auto Vice City for $3. And I finally got myself a copy of Psyops, the Mind Games.
You didn't have a copy
I
of
did not
Psyops?
have a copy of it, so it
So
was.
good.
So yeah, I got myself a copy of that. So that was cool. This next things I got though, I saw that there was like a random flea market, and they posted some pictures of like they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna be there. We've got a bunch of games. I'm like, all right, well, I'll go. But they were all N64 games in box, and I get there and I'm like, these are immaculate. Like these are the best looking cases I've ever seen in my life. Well, come to find out, the people that were there, they were selling this stuff. It was one of their friends' husbands who had passed away, had this massive game collection, and she's like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I know there's a lot of money here, but I don't want it. I want it gone. And so these people, I guess, do this regularly. Like, they go to flea markets and sell stuff. And she was like, here, like, look up values on this stuff. And so they had a massive price list of everything, and they went online and they looked it all up. They knew what their stuff was.
Wow,
They knew what
they
it was
had.
worth. For the most part, yeah. So I'm walking around with like, I've got my app out and looking at stuff, and I'm like, the stuff's like, the difference between some of the stuff was maybe $5 at most. Every once in a while, like I'd come across something that was like, oh yeah, this is worth $20 more or something. I am kicking myself though, because they looked up the 2 Zelda games for N64 in box. They had them just as the regular versions, and they were both collector's edition ones, and they had them priced at the regular ones. And I was looking at them with some other guy, and we were looking through stuff just kind of like, because he was looking, he's like, and I was like, oh, he said collector's edition. I said it out loud, and he was like, oh, like, all of it. He's like, I collect all the Zelda stuff. I'm like, dude, whatever. And then I'm like, I look it up, and like, I could have bought that for 120, and they're worth like 400.
You know what though? Like, I'm glad that the collector got them
Yeah.
because, like,
If he
you
actually
don't
was-
have any affinity for Zelda.
I
You
was-
would have flipped them.
Yeah, I would have
So-
flipped him or flipped him to you because they were in box.
I'm glad they ended up with
Somebody,
that
yeah.
wanted them. You know.
Yeah, that was the only because that's what at the time I was just like, I don't really care, like,
Yeah.
because I don't really care. But I did get 2 games I did care about, and I'll hand you my boxes here to look at. So I got Cruisin' USA.
Jackboy.
Yeah, like
Whoa.
look at that box.
Yeah, that's nice.
Whoa.
I don't even want to touch it for fear I'm going to dent it somehow.
Like every box
That's
was like that.
ridiculous.
Like,
I'm not touching that.
like they
Wow.
like it could like water grade these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these are immaculate.
Which
and
don't do
then-
that, by the way. That's a scam.
I know, it's
Yeah.
a complete scam. Yeah, which all that's like becoming a real big deal. And then the other game I got was
Nice.
the South Park game. This one has a little tiny dent.
I was going to
in
say,
the
look at that corner. Ugh.
That corner's a junk. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, so I loved these 2 games as a kid, so I was like, I'm picking these 2 up. So I spent a little more for them because they were in box, but I was like,
Those are nice.
those are nice. Like, so I felt pretty good about my purchase there. I was like, all right, whatever. So, anywho, it's a random game collection things.
I haven't seen a 64 box look like that, and I can't even tell
since
you.
1997.
Man.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Do we need to get into the big game?
I have one more.
You have one more. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't
Jason, I
miscount
took
it.
your recommendation. I played Death's Door. I finished Death's Door.
Yes.
The game is awesome.
All right.
The game was really, really good.
I'm glad you like
So
it.
the thing that I think
Hmm.
is most impressive about that game is the difficulty curve, because that's something that I complain about in games a lot.
Yeah.
This game nailed it. every time I went into a boss, I'm like, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able. This is where I stop playing this game because I can't do it. And then I do 1 or 2 runs, and I'm like, okay, I get the move set here. And then you do a couple more, and you're like, I think I might be getting close. And then you do it, and yeah, I did it.
Yes.
Even like the final boss, I mean, I took probably like 15 attempts at it, but I felt like I was making progress every
Each time.
Yep.
Right.
Games don't do that well, and this game nailed it. So really appreciated that.
Yeah, it's
You finished it too,
good.
right?
Yeah, I
Okay, I
didn't. I finished the main story. Did
That's
you
right.
complete it?
I'm not gonna do the other. So one of the things you have to do, I don't know if you looked into it or not.
A little bit.
You have to find every one of those little seeds and plant it in every one of the little pots.
Oh yeah, I think I
And
was
I'm
like
like-
60%.
but there's
ways
no
away.
like way of knowing which ones
I
you
didn't
did.
know
and-
that
yeah.
either. I found out. Did you see the area where you like the repository for them all,
Yeah.
and then the door? You come to that like maybe like what, like 80% way through the main campaign, and then I was like,
yeah.
because I wish I had tracked them or
Right.
known or been more careful, and I would have
Well,
maybe considered
at
doing
the beginning of the game, I was kind of hoarding them because I thought
it. So was I.
you might need them later.
Of course.
And then you end up with like 8 of them. And you're like, oh, I need to start like actually using those.
and I need
So-
life now.
Yeah.
So here, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of the? Did you enjoy the story in that game?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing like super groundbreaking or anything, but it
No.
keeps it going.
I like the reveal of the relationship to that actually being Death's door,
Yeah.
and I wasn't thinking like, oh, death, as in like death, character death.
Right.
No, I was just thinking like final door, finality, or like the end of this little crow's run. You know,
Yep.
I don't know. I like everything about that game. Music. What do you think about the
Oh,
music?
music's incredible.
Isn't it
Yeah.
great? Oh my gosh, it's so good. And it's, like you're reaping souls and dark subject matter, but that doesn't mean like these environments aren't lush and the music isn't just, it's great. Like it's,
Yep.
I love that it doesn't feel like it has to be this like super somber monotone thing. Like that is where the crow lives, but then when he goes into the actual living, breathing world, like you be damned, like we are here and this is the tone and this is the
Yeah.
music in this environment and like this is where life happens.
There's also a lot of like little details that I really like. The collectibles in the game, Logan, are called shiny things.
Well, of course
he's a crow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He
And
holds him up all proud of himself.
If you notice, Jason, in the area where like all the desks are, where people have computers and everything, at his desk he like just keeps all the shiny things there. So he's a crow hoarding shiny things in this.
I did not notice that actually.
I just
no.
love that.
Oh, that's where all the stuff is?
Yeah, just in the middle desk of that section is all the stuff you found.
Oh, in the where all the little clerks are.
Yep. Yep. One of those desks is his.
his
and
with
he
all the
just
stuff?
he hoards all the shiny
That's
things.
amazing.
I love that.
Did you meet the squid guy?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
pretty good. That's pretty all right. I didn't do every collectible, but I did that kind of starts the path to a really powerful weapon, a really melee weapon. So I saw
Yeah.
that through.
Yeah, I did that and that's the one I used for most of the game.
Once you get it,
Yeah.
you feel like then you're like, oh, I probably have a chance at these.
The only
higher level
downside is
bosses.
it's only a 2-hit combo, but most of the bosses you need to get one hit and then back away
And then get
anyway.
out of there.
So
So you're not going back. I am. I feel like but there is one boss we won't be seeing if neither of us
Yeah.
go back, which is kind
there's
of a bummer.
there's like 4 of the bosses to upgrade your magic. Each one of those has a optional boss as well.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
I tried the one for the bow and arrow, and I was like, I got like 5 attempts in, and I'm like, he's not even getting like the purple cracks in him. or
Oh,
whatever.
really?
So I'm like, I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah, I really like that game. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Not too long.
Pretty stingy. It's pretty stingy on achievements, though. I will say that.
And
Got like 300 total for finishing the game.
and you're gonna have to do
Yeah.
more. It wants you to
Yeah.
do more.
How long was this?
Probably. Well, my timer on Xbox said it was 6 hours, but I feel like that's not right.
I feel like I spent like 10 to 11.
Yeah,
Okay. I feel like I need to play this.
It's
I
only
think
20
you do.
bucks.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, I want to play this.
Yeah.
It was more.
It's really
more of
good.
a just squeezing it in with everything else.
Yep.
I
I-
like it. Caleb likes it.
Yeah. I mean, the big game was obviously the Halo multiplayer beta this weekend,
All right.
right?
Yes. Did
Yeah.
you play? Did you get?
I
into that?
did. I
Nice.
played about 3 hours of it this
Okay.
afternoon. It looks like Halo, but it does not feel like Halo.
Ooh.
For
Interesting.
better or worse. When I say that, I mean like the like strafing with the BR and stuff like doesn't quite feel the same. Like you've got to create a new. It's got a new feel. So you've got to. So it took me a while to figure out that new feel, and I got my butt handed to me several times the first like hour playing it. There were at least 2 or 3 games where I didn't have a single kill.
Is it over?
It might still be going tonight. Maybe we can throw it on here in a little bit. I think
Yeah.
it goes through tonight.
Okay.
There are tons of new weapons. Like I'd say you've got your BR, your assault rifle, and your pistol and your sniper rifle. Those are the only guns I recognized. There were at least 10 other guns I'd never seen in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
So I'm just trying to figure out those and how all of those worked. So by the time I figured it all out, it was like, okay, because I was playing, the only things they had were big team battle, and there was only one map for that, and then there was regular, so it was like a social 4v4. So it was a mix of like domination, capture the flag, and Slayer. So you got a mix of the 3. But it looks great, like from a visual standpoint. Like they really upgraded those visuals from whatever that was 2 years ago that they showed. That thing was trash, but it looks pretty good. So
October 1st through the 4th.
yeah, which is today's the 3rd. So I don't know. Maybe there is something tomorrow. I thought it was over today, but
That would make sense. Most betas are just over the weekend.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's more specific times.
so yeah, that's all I really have about that. I mean, it's Halo. Like I said, it's a little bit different, but the announcer's still fantastic. Like that's the main thing you need to know.
I'm honestly glad I didn't know about this because I probably would have lost like 12 minutes to this. And
Yeah.
other things we talked about because
You
I would have
only played
just
it for 12 minutes.
I would have just
I would have lost the
God.
whole round of this. 12 minutes. That was it. Yeah. So we're ready to talk Deathloop.
I think so.
We're all playing it.
I played it for about an hour and a half. I got into tutorials and then more tutorials and then more
There's like
tutorials.
2 hours of tutorials.
So
It's a
I
lot.
turned it off because I wasn't feeling the tutorials.
I
I
understand.
played those other
Mhm.
games instead. So take it away.
Okay. I'm like 4 hours in, so I'm a little bit past tutorials. I am in the middle of a day right now. I have taken out 2 visionaries. Getting ready to go for a third.
It's in the after. You're in the
I'm
afternoon.
in the afternoon now.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to. I forget. It's one of the girls. I forget which one it is, but yeah, I'm going after that visionary now.
Thea.
What?
Thea.
Might be. I forgot all their names.
Wenji.
Wenji I killed in the morning.
Yeah.
Killed Wenji in the morning.
Probably Thea.
Yeah. Wenji was first. I already forgot the names of everybody I killed. Like it's just but yeah, that game's good. It's quirky. I'm a fan of I'm usually not a fan of talking to me out of the speaker of the PlayStation, but this thing does it in a way that's different, and I like it. It scares the shit out of me when she talks, but like it's very loud. I need to turn it down a little bit.
The thing to me, and this could be kind of Uncanny Valley type stuff, but the dialogue for the next person starts before the first person has ended their sentence, which is how dialogue actually works in real life. But because it's not done in video games ever, it's really throwing me. It's really giving me this is not right. This is weird.
I've also found that sometimes I'm the one initiating that. Like I'm pressing a button, maybe even or moving past a certain spot that they want me to take my time with. that I'm now triggering a new event to occur that's causing that's what I feel is happening sometimes. And then I'm like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. Like, and now, because now, like, I'll be like, oh, now I've got 3 conversations going, because I also pressed a button on a recorder thing that now I've got. It's like, damn it. Where are you at, Jason? Then, like, if I'm,
I don't know the last time something new came out, and I was the one that it was the
farthest,
but I've played
You're-
it for probably 8 hours.
okay, so you're like really cooking compared to us.
So I like you. I did not. I don't like the way that game starts with the info dump. It's a lot.
There's a lot there.
Am I playing a roguelike? Like,
Yeah.
am I? What is happening? Can I kill everybody now? Can I?
Yeah.
What do you want? What am I doing with all these leads? And what am I doing with my weapons? And how am I upgrading my character? And how do I retain weapons? And how do I upgrade weapons? Wait, I can sacrifice weapons? Like, it's a lot.
Yeah, that whole thing is a lot.
And a lot of it is like text. And if you are in any way fatigued, it's like, I'm gonna have to do this later. I got
Mm-hmm.
video game. I appreciate you're trying to do something new and interesting, but this is a lot. And so I have consistently gone from 2K to this and 2K to that.
Mhm.
And I think just recently I started to see, this is why everybody loves this game. But it has taken me 7-8 hours to get there. And for me to reconcile, I'm not going to get everything out of this game right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to hack away at it, and I'm going to have to do some things over.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it is making doing things over interesting. And that is what I was afraid of. But things change. They're not always the same the second time around, or the world around you changes, or the scenario changes, or perhaps another target is around another target, and you start to see, maybe I could build my day this way.
Because you see that, like, oh, hey, this person's also here at this time. And,
Right.
like, yeah, like that kind of thing. So that's why I'm gathering all that intel right now that, oh, this person's going to a party this night. Like, so.
And
maybe
you
shouldn't
know
jump in
going
the
into
morning.
that
Mhm.
it's not the last time you will be there. And so I'm starting to approach it kind of like you do Hitman. And then I'm okay with it. But I wasn't at first. I was like, give me everything right away. I want to be done with
The
this.
best
Yeah, there's a lot of rules.
There's
right?
the best analogy I heard. From
Well, the day's the day.
Yeah,
and then
it's
you
like,
start
okay,
over.
well,
yeah, the best analogy I heard was on a podcast. Somebody said it's Groundhog Day meets Hitman.
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
yeah.
So, but the thing, I think the difference there is with Hitman, it's here's a big open environment, here are a bunch of tools, you go ahead and go do it.
Mm.
With Deathloop, it seems like
It's prescribed.
yeah, it's like
It's a little more
here
prescribed, yeah.
here is the target, here are your tools, but also there's this, but also keep that in mind. But also you're constrained by the time of day, but also you're constrained by this, and it's just like it's a lot. I don't know if I get it right away, but it's good to hear that the more you play.
And
that-
I was with you. I think it's probably the time to the prior to the last time I played it was the time I was like, oh, gotcha. But it was a while
The
before
residuum thing, like of the like sacrificing your guns. So basically, well, what you I mean, so correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Double the hours of where I'm at. Like you, because there's rarity associated with weapons,
There
which
is.
is so those you would want to keep moving forward, and if
Mhm.
those the other ones, the commons, you would want to sacrifice to have a high residuum to keep the good guns for your next run or your next day.
Yeah, and you, I don't know, you keep the weapons that you end with, you leave with, but if you die, you lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get back from your mission, they're permanently yours to do what
I
you
think
want
that's
to.
that has not happened for me yet. So
Right, but,
Not
but
much
the
something
only
you
time that you
unlock.
so the only
Yeah.
time that you can save them though is once you've ended or gotten back to your exit. So like if you end your exit at noon though, right? So let's just say you did your morning run. All right, I got this pistol and I want to save it, and I'm going to save it for now, or lock it in or whatever it is, I can go through the rest of the day, and if I die in the evening because I saved it, it's still going to come back the next morning, right?
Correct.
Right. But if I gain a new gun at noon and I don't make it to the end and I don't save it, that doesn't come with you the next day. But that's how you end up with, like, you take like crappy trinkets and you sacrifice them so that this way you get more residuum, or you find random residuum throughout the area, which there's not a
I
lot
think
of.
you're from understanding that, you're 3 hours away from that probably,
Okay.
because you got a lot of narrative to come at you and a lot of forced structure that you'll
But at
have
the same
to
time,
understand.
he's not much farther away than I am, and I got
Oh,
it.
Okay.
Like I would say, because have you gone through that tutorial yet of the residuum stuff?
Nope.
Okay, then I think you're right there to getting to that tutorial of that, because I think if you get the trophy called the longest day, I think
Yeah, I did like the first day.
the first day,
Yeah.
then I think the next day is when they teach you about residuum.
Gotcha.
Because you do a mission where you go and you get the ability to bring stuff back.
There are those weird shaky objects in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Those eventually.
Yeah, it kind of that bummed me out because I had a gun that I liked during
Mhm.
that very first day, and then it rebooted everything, and I'm like, oh, I lost that.
You do.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a gun. I have a gun right now that
I
I'm
love it when games take things away from me.
that I've kept because it's a weird pistol thing. It reminds me of the gun from Control, the pistol from Control. You know what I'm talking about, and
Yeah, it
And-
is like that.
it but it shoots a cloud of toxic gas. But you got to remember, don't shoot it right in front of you because you will die. I found that out the hard way.
Correct.
But at least you get 3 lives.
Yeah.
Or 2 lives, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. You get 2 reboots or whatever. But yeah, I was like, how did I die? And then I realized, oh shit, that gun has like toxic gas on it. That's right. But yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of right. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, you find a gun you like, you're going to want to keep it for a while. But I got that gun from a visionary, which is where you get a good amount of your residuum too. You can pull like 5K from a visionary easily. And then, like, if you go to sacrifice, like, the little, semi-automatic machine gun, you get, like, 200.
Have you guys been invaded by real people?
No.
Okay.
I turned it off.
So, yeah, I have turned that off because I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Mhm.
giant pain.
And the thing is if you come back from suspend mode at any point in time, you're always in offline mode. So, which is always kind of nice. And the fact that it does, like, and unlike Returnal, I mean, there really isn't a save though when you're in your run. Like, you've got to make it to the exit, right? Like, but at the same time,
Unless you sleep, right? Unless you can put your system to sleep.
right? You can do that, but there's no official save until you get to an exit.
Not mid daytime run.
Yeah, like
No.
if you start a noon run, you got to
Morning,
make it back to an
noon,
exit.
Afternoon, night.
Either one. But for the most part, once you get to your objective, your way back isn't too bad. For the most part. Unless you go back a different way, which I've done before, and that was real dumb. But
It depends.
yeah. Are you going I'm assuming you're going stealth, right? Like, for the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah, I am too.
Because of who I am. But I have recently gotten some weapons from some visionaries and other areas that have made it a little more appealing to go loud.
Okay.
And I feel like early on it doesn't want you to go loud because you're not equipped to it.
No.
But once you're going to get yourself some nice weapons, you can upgrade them, and it does make it more appealing to go loud. Also, another game without a difficulty setting.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
The enemy accuracy is pretty solid. It's not like you're playing a COD on Recruit. Like, you sit around, half your health bar's gone.
Oh yeah.
Stand there more, you're dead.
Yeah, you better find yourself some fizz pops real fast, which they're very generous about the fizz pops everywhere.
Yep.
Like that the way that your health and everything works reminds me a lot of BioShock in that way. Like,
There's a lot of BioShock in general in there.
oh yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, a
you
lot of
guys-
art aesthetic and everything, yeah.
I guess it's probably more for Jason, but do you feel like there are that you've wasted a lot of time doing runs? Are you getting stuff out of the run every time?
That's what
Okay.
I had to come to grips with,
Gotcha.
and I wasn't quite understanding. Is this is how you play this game. This wasn't useless at all. I'm actually moving the story forward, and I learned something,
Yeah.
and it'll be different the next time around.
Gotcha.
So the structure will stay the same, but the situations will change.
So it's not like Returnal in that way where you feel like, oh, I made no progress in the
Yep.
last hour.
It is
Yep.
not like
Okay.
that, or the
No.
way that I feel about Souls games that I want to love that just don't love me.
Right.
That same
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah, the only time I ever died and didn't get anything was my own fault because I went in guns blazing and we realized that will not happen. You can't do that in this game. Like that, or at least where I was at the time, and that was, I think, like my first like official run where I was kind of in the open, where it was like, oh hey, I'm not in tutorial land anymore, and it was like, okay, that was a bad idea. Don't do that again. So I've been much more careful, and it's been much more entertaining that way. That little your little knife is pretty. That thing's great.
You could almost go loud with it.
You
Have
kind
you
of could.
noticed that?
Oh yeah, I found that like it's almost better sometimes to run and just
Knife
'cause-
everybody.
because it's a one hit kill with everybody for at least so far.
The other thing to mention too, Caleb, is when you kill a visionary, you unlock a power. And that is where the Arcane Studio stuff comes in.
I did that. I killed Juliana. Or was that
Yeah.
her name? Yeah.
Juliana, yeah.
And I got the dash ability, and then it was like, okay, you're sleeping, and then I woke up and it was gone.
Yep.
So
I was like,
that'll
oh,
happen,
Cool.
right.
But you'll
okay.
get to hold. But once you get to a point though where you're going to use your residuum to
Yeah.
hold on to that stuff. But like at the same time, the last two that I've gotten, it wasn't really that thrill. I was like, that does nothing. Like these
I love the first one.
the dash ability
No,
or what?
not the dash one. The chaining, the combat chaining.
Oh
one.
really? See,
I love.
maybe I
that
haven't
one.
figured it out yet because I was
Oof,
trying it and I was
super
like,
useful.
okay, maybe I need to learn it because I thought I was like, this is dumb. I don't even
Super
get what I'm doing.
useful. Take out multiple enemies at the same time. Sign me up. Upgrade it to 3. Sign me up again.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I need to go back and mess with that one, that ability a
More
little bit more.
residuum.
I'm like, sacrifice it. Screw it. Like, it gives you a lot. But I guess you get to go back and get it any time because you got to kill those visionaries.
That's where it feels like the Dishonored games. One of them is Blink, basically. So
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else about Deathloop other than
I'll
glad
keep
you like it?
playing that.
Yeah, I think I'll be plugging away at that for a while too. The only problem is there's a lot of new stuff coming out here real quick. I feel like we're hitting the wall.
Far Cry's in 3 days.
Yeah, you guys can have that. I'll play Death's Door. Well, you guys play Far Cry.
Fair enough.
But
Skibble.
Back for Blood comes out on the 12th.
Well,
Yeah, so stuff's gonna start to hit here. I think here soon. So I don't know. Maybe that's it. Like I'm trying to think
There's
of
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, Halo.
Yeah,
Halo's not until December.
yeah. Halo's not till the 1st of December.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's not until mid-November. So maybe we're okay. Maybe things aren't so bad.
Which is good because that may mean that I get through Deathloop, which is good.
I think Deathloop's like 20 hours. I want to say
Okay.
that's what I've heard.
Well, probably
I can-
depends on how good you are.
Probably,
I
yeah.
can do that. 20
Mm.
hours isn't too bad. I can do that.
Yeah. All right. Any other games, or we're good?
Jason had a question about Nintendo.
Oh, you did have a question.
Yeah,
about Nintendo,
so
yes, before we talk TV.
I think that I will probably get my children a Switch for Christmas. I'm thinking.
Yes. Okay.
And should I just buy the old one to not worry about it, or should I try to get an OLED Switch?
OLED's not that big of an upgrade.
It's what, $30 more, right? It's $330. Is that what, or $350?
I don't
I think
remember.
it's $350. I feel like, but I don't know.
I wonder
Any-
if they're even going to sell the old one, or are they going to take that SKU off?
Well, that's what right now. The old Switches are in stock, which is why I'm asking this
Mm.
question. When's it launched? Like in a few days?
I actually
Yeah.
don't know.
I guess, okay,
Isn't it
'cause
on
it
the
comes out with
8th?
Metroid Dread.
Oh, okay.
So when
So
is
like
that?
Friday.
Yeah, I think it's Friday.
So I was curious your guys' opinion on that. Number one, and then number two, like I don't want to fight the availability monster, and I feel like I should almost just get a regular Switch.
So I think you're right. I think you just go with the regular one because if you're playing the Switch, you're probably going to be playing it docked.
That correct.
For the most part, yeah.
If your kids are playing, they might be playing it handheld. But
Mhm.
My
do
daughter,
they even
man.
care? Will
They
even-
don't.
Yeah,
Like,
they,
they
won't
don't.
care that it looks slightly better, right?
And
Like,
and we're talking just the screen on the actual device, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or performance.
No guts upgrade. The only other upgrade that it gives you is the ability to hardwire your Ethernet cable.
Which you can do anyway with an adapter.
Right. So
I think it's just because I'm a little bit concerned, like I'm gonna get caught in this like availability issue.
the only other thing with the LED screen is in a car driving, it will be better from a glare standpoint. That would be the only other thing. That otherwise, I don't think you have any real reason to get it. But yeah.
Okay,
Um,
I'll think about it because I've seen Switches on shelves right now.
I have to. I also completely forgot I played a Switch game today, and didn't even a new Switch game. I played WarioWare, the new WarioWare game. I've never played a WarioWare game before. Have you, Caleb?
I love WarioWare, but I've heard that this one's not the best.
Are all of the mini games exactly the same thing over and over and over again?
Oh, no. They're not supposed to be.
That's the way this is on repeat, and it's not very good. I've played about an hour of the story mode of this, and I'm not having a good time with it at all. Because they give you like little characters to use and everything. Well, if you're not playing with two players, which I guess it really wants you to play two-player, there's some characters that come as a pair, and like one shoots right and one shoots left. Well, it'll put you in a scenario, it'll give you this thing, and if you can't shoot left, you can't complete the thing. It's not good. So yeah, do you want to play it at all?
Probably not.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm gonna send
There's
it.
too many other things.
I was gonna send it back
Yeah.
already. Was hoping to get Life is Strange True Colors, but that did not come. Instead, this came, and I was like, oh well, like and it was like, hey girls, why don't you guys play this? This is funny, and they were like, no. I was like, really? Like, okay, I thought you guys might be entertained by this, and they were just like, I showed it to them, and they were like, no. Like, okay, cool. That's how good this game looks. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that game then. So, all right, moving into TV. So I just have to get this out of the way because Jason, I've been watching The Crown.
Hey guys. Jason. I started watching The Crown.
What is happening? What is happening? Am I in a dream? What's happening?
That's
What is
amazing.
happening right now? What is happening right now?
Jason, like I want to point out that I took a game recommendation and a TV recommendation from you. Both.
Where are you, Caleb? I'm curious.
I finished episode 5.
I'm on season 2.
Oh wow.
I'm on season 2, episode. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm at 4.
I don't even care.
Jason,
You could
I
tell me
don't-
right now that you hate it, and I'd still be like, you watched
I
it.
don't understand, Jason, why you have not ever recommended this show before.
I
This
hate you
is
so much. I hate you so much.
I will say, so the thing is, I will have to say though, I am not watching all of it because the thing is I guarantee right now we go upstairs, my wife is watching the next episode without me.
Oh, okay.
So I would say I have seen at least 2/3 of it. So
Oh man, you're doing yourself a disservice.
I think this is actually
You can have that argument with him. I
think this
I'm
is the
not.
perfect way for me to watch this because I can get caught up on the slow parts and of just like, oh, what's happened? Oh, okay, all right. Margaret's done this. Okay, all right, cool. Like, and
Just
I'm
nuts.
and I can just be like, oh yeah, like whatever. This is my biggest beef with the show, and you got to tell me what's going on here. So why is it these shows are hour long, right? For the most part,
I think
Like,
they're 55 to 58.
right? So
usually.
why is it at like the 45-minute mark every episode, there is this big event that happens and the music swells and it gets real, like some real important thing happens, and then it's the perfect time to show credits, and then they go to like some 10-minute boring conversation afterwards, and then they roll credits. Like, it's like, why isn't this the first part of the next episode? When I feel like it was like, just for example, he becomes Prince. They give him. Oh, sorry,
Prince Philip.
spoilers.
Oh God! It's based on real life. There's no spoilers.
It was the guy that died the other week, a few
Oh,
weeks
okay.
ago. Him,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like they
He
do
was alive until recently. It's crazy.
they do this big coronation event, and like I mean, it's all of this stuff, and then it just cuts to like some people talking like in another room, and they just kind of finish up their conversation, and then it just seems odd. Like that's the only odd thing to me, is that I feel like this is a consistent thing with the show, that they do these big events and then they end it differently. I don't know why.
I have an answer for that.
Okay, I'm just curious. Yeah.
It is to set up the gap in time that they're covering between that major event, and it allows them time to wrap it up sometimes in an unsatisfactory way, because
just
the
a
next
slower way,
episode
I
is
guess.
going to be about something that happens maybe even 5 years into the future.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Or 6 years, so it gives them that gap in time they need to buffer, because there are typically, I think, oh my God, season 4 is so good. But in season 4, there's a lot of consecutive things that happen, and the timeline is shorter.
Okay.
And the
Where-
cast also changes in season 3. It moves forward.
Yeah, you get a whole new queen.
Yeah, Olivia Colman, who
Right,
I
yeah.
love, becomes queen. But so I think especially with young Elizabeth, it's like we're talking. I think the first 2 seasons are like, God, it feels like 3 decades. And so it's a lot of like, you could start the next episode and it could be 2 or 3 years past the episode before. And so I think that's why sometimes it is quiet and muted, but they also have to set up the fact that we are moving on with our lives. This thing happened and then it's over, and who knows what you're going to get the next time around.
The thing that's amazing to me is when somebody mentions like, this is the problem I've had with this show from the beginning. People were like, oh, it's about British royalty. I'm like, I could not be interested in a topic less than that, right?
Right. Yeah. Same here.
But then finally start watching it, and I'm like, I am so interested in British royalty now.
The thing
I'm
is,
like Googling stuff. I'm like I don't know what, like a lot of it. My sister is a big history buff, especially with England.
okay.
So a lot of this stuff where it's like, I talked to her a little bit about the show, and I'm like, I had no idea this happened. She's like, you didn't know that happened? So it's filling in some gaps, and then I'm also like, oh, who is this character? Let me pull it up because that's a real person.
Right. They're all real
Yeah,
people. Yeah. I hate watch part of it for that I'm just kind of like, this is so stupid. Why are these people even doing it this way? And it's like, but the thing is like, this isn't like, it's scripted, but not like, because the thing is like, no one knew the exact conversation they had.
Right.
Like,
Sure.
was Philip really this much of a petty little bitch? Maybe. I don't know. Like, but you just kind of have to take it for what it is, I guess, and assume that, yeah, somebody within the, I don't even know, like,
I do love
Buckingham
that
Palace.
stuff, that like his wife has a bigger dick than he does, and he just cannot handle it.
No.
And it's really great. Tobias Menzies, Emmy winner, for 3 and 4. It's really interesting to compare that version of him versus the old version of him, and like a man that is at peace with it versus a young man who just
Like
cannot.
Matt Smith is just not.
He just cannot
having
do
it,
it, right? Yeah. Oh man. And there's all that, like, they delve into some areas where it's like, this is the story they're telling, and there's no historical like context for this, like marital troubles or Margaret drama,
Right,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
that's
That all is liberties taken. But what I love about it is it's surrounded by these events in time that are
There's-
unrefutable.
There's an
things
war
that
going on
happen.
right now that they're
Mhm.
involved in. Like, that's the kind of stuff that it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, like, because yeah, like I missed a good chunk of the last episode or this last episode that we're on, and I come in and Andrea was like, yeah, this has basically been a whole episode about Margaret and been really weird. So she's like, it's a good one to miss. I'm like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Like it's been, but yeah, like I said, it's extremely well acted, and the sets and everything else are immaculate. It's just
How is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
You guys are watching the show. You watched it now. It's like
they put all of their budget there. And
it's
then
like it's
the
just
rest of
literally $1 from every subscriber
yeah,
because it's
Easily.
insane.
There's your ESPN cut of your of Netflix.
Ridiculous.
right. Like it's
Okay. Well, at least wise you guys can see it and appreciate it for what it is, and I'm really glad that you're. Even if you hated it, at least wise you can see what everyone is talking about, why critics love it so much, and
I completely
understand why I
critics
like
love
it.
Yeah, it's a critical darling, of course.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I'll be able to get to season 4 before Toady, but we will see.
Well, that was last year, right? Or was
We're
it
on
this
season
year?
5 this year.
I think 4 was last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
And 5 won't happen
Oh,
this
okay.
fall.
Okay.
Oh yeah, is weird. Oh, okay, sorry. In IMDb, it has 5 and 6 already listed. So yeah, there have not been any episodes in 2021,
Okay.
and there is not a scheduled episode until 2022. So no need for Toady.
So take your time.
Yeah.
Toadie's already over.
Yeah. This would be a horrible show to binge. I can't imagine binging this show.
It's a lot. Yeah.
So
it's a lot.
Remember we started it after the Emmys, so it's been 2 weeks, and we're what?
Well, you're not even watching it though.
I'm
Yeah.
watching part of it.
I think that some of that is aided by Andrew's going to turn it
Yeah,
on with or without you.
Right. Well, that's the thing. 'Cause, yeah. I mean, how else am I can't play video games and watch that much Crown. Like, it's just not going to happen.
I don't. Ooh, that'd be tough. That'd be. Yeah, it's a tough.
Yeah.
I can't imagine trying to do something and watch The Crown.
Mhm.
My favorite episode. I'm excited to talk about it with you guys whenever you get there. The 3rd season, this horrific historical thing happens, and that episode it's unbelievable. This horrible thing happens, and the way that it's like they become self-aware that they're royalty and they mean nothing and all of it means nothing, and yet they're supposed to make appearances and try to facilitate aid and have things to say, and it's like they are all coming to grips with like I'm
They're
absorbed
useless.
in my useless BS in the world, and I'm absorbed in being like royalty and trying to live my life and live in my sister's shadow and live in my wife's shadow, and none of this matters because this happened. And now they're asking me to step up, and all I've ever wanted to do is step up, and I can't.
You don't even know
And
how.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
And it's like the whole thing flips upside down, and it is fire. It's crazy. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Good TV. See, we do good TV here. We do good TV. What John Stamos show did you watch this week?
Well, I do have it. Well, say you saw it as we were walking in. As you walked in, the Doogie Kame Aloha show on.
I don't even know what that is.
So that is a reboot of Doogie Howser MD. Think of it that way.
Okay.
So it is about a 16-year-old girl who is a doctor. She
Okay.
is a savant and become a doctor, but the difference is they have her living in Hawaii. Like, so she lives in Hawaii with her dad is a native Hawaiian, and her mom is a white woman from Philly who is, oddly enough, one of the teachers in the John Stamos show. So there you go. There's your tie back. I mean, it's a family sitcom on the Disney Plus platform. It is fine to sit around and watch with your family, and
That's
it's
good.
entertaining enough to keep me like it's a half hour. Like it's perfectly fine. Like it's better than it's better than most sitcoms on network television.
I believe that.
I mean,
That's not a stretch.
I mean, so think of it that way, you know, as with my Big Shot nonsense and stuff on Disney Plus, like they're still better than anything on network TV. but it's stuff you can watch with the kids. That's always good. 'Cause you can't watch. I can't even watch Ted Lasso with the kids. I mean that.
No, you cannot.
No.
I mean, Ted is great relief for adults, but it is an
Roy
adult
Kent
show.
is not
Kid friendly.
not kid friendly. Situations are not kid friendly.
Are you guys caught up with that?
I'm not.
I'm
Okay.
one episode behind. That show has taken a much different direction in the latter part of this
Just
season.
wait till you watch this latest one.
Yeah.
Way different.
So like I'm
In
on
a bad way.
in a bad way, I believe.
I think. It's
Okay.
gonna-
I
yeah.
finished the funeral episode was the
Okay.
last one I finished. As I think we have one more after that. I did not care for the beard episode. I thought
I thought that was super boring.
I thought that episode was terrible.
Yep.
Like the reason Beard is funny is because
We don't
Beard
know
is-
anything about him.
You don't know anything
Yeah.
about him, and to do an entire episode about him on your second season, maybe on season 7.
Yep. Yeah, they're trying to, I think, unnecessarily insert conflict, and I think it's bad. I think they. I will still say it is still high quality television.
Yeah.
But I don't. I think that the writers are missing the point of what people liked about the first season.
Agreed.
And the more episodes that come out in the second season, the more I feel this way.
Like when you say the conflict thing, I think the other thing is they will introduce a conflict and then resolve it way too quickly. That seems to be my issue with it. It's like they just won't let something stick for longer than one episode, and it's kind of disheartening.
Yeah.
Where are you at, Jason?
I just watched the episode where, speaking of Beard watches Nate scold one of the players, and then he tells him to do better, and then Nate walks out into the hallway and comes back, and Beard is gone.
Yeah.
That episode, whatever that one is, the one about Roy being attached to Keeley.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's your next episode might be the Beard episode,
Okay.
maybe, or maybe there's
I don't
one more in
remember
between.
how order.
Yeah, the one where Roy was attached to Keeley. I remember that one.
We'll definitely have to dissect that a little bit
Oh
more
my
once we're
gosh.
done.
Because there's only one episode left in
Yep.
the season, so I'm curious where this goes. I don't know. It's just it's an interesting direction. For my notes today. I just wrote Ted Lasso direction.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, I don't know. What other shows you guys been watching?
I haven't watched anything new. One update for you.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched 2.5 seasons of Ozark.
Oh, okay. I have not watched any.
I
You-
gave up halfway through the first season. I
you
didn't
have-
really like it.
Yeah, I didn't know if you watched any or not.
I watched. Oh, sorry. I watched one episode. I watched the first episode.
Boy, that show is fine. It's just so fine.
Milk toasty, just like
And it doesn't want to be, and I'm sure that there maybe are people out there that haven't been exposed to the wide variety of shows that we have, and I get why you think Ozark is good, but boy, I've got other recommendations for you. Let's go this direction. Let's graduate from Ozark and go here. It's like,
hey, you gotta go from CSI to something.
I guess
You can't just go straight to the Crown.
No.
Yeah, no, yes.
can't-
that is
I just
adult
graduated to the
television.
Crown.
Yes, it takes a while to get to the Crown.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just so fine. And I think the 4th season was coming out this year, so I was like, if anybody's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Crime show, should love this, right? It's okay.
Is there enough murder though? Is that the
I
problem?
mean, sure.
Okay.
Oh, do I like Yellowstone more than I like Ozark?
You do.
I do. I absolutely do.
See, the thing is, you really like Yellowstone.
I do like Yellowstone.
Yeah, like
I do.
You're accepting Ozark.
Yes.
That tells
You're
me exactly
correct.
what I need to know about Ozark.
You're correct.
Mhm.
I should not be watching this.
I'm glad I'm not.
It's just so fine. It's not bad,
Mm-hmm.
but there's better things for you to be watching.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
worse things for you to be watching. If you would fill your time watching a guilty pleasure of yours instead of this, like, you should do that. You know what I mean? It's just okay. I don't regret it. Like, I'm not mad. Like, I'm not, what am I doing? Like, it's good. It's just, my instincts were right. Like, I could have lived my life without watching Ozark. It would have been fine. And I've watched it now. I'm still fine. And I don't hate the time I've spent with it. But it's not mandatory viewing. That's for sure.
I mean, it's probably still better than The Equalizer.
It's not bad.
What's
Like,
worse than
I mean,
The
right?
Equalizer?
Yeah. I mean, that's bad TV. Ozark's not bad.
I don't know. I saw some trailers today for Equalizer. I'm cracking up. Like, they are
I
so
don't know
bad.
how that show hasn't gotten canceled yet.
It's on CBS.
It does. Anything goes on
Still,
CBS.
They have to have some standard.
Maybe
No?
people watching it?
I think it's their
Did
number
they put
one
it on
show or
nursing
something.
homes and then count 25 viewers? Or
Like,
Is it
that's,
on
that's
after-
that's how Blue Bloods worked for a while. I mean,
that kept Blue Bloods on for a while.
it was
yeah.
Friday nights at the nursing home. I mean, that's what the time slot was 9:00 on Fridays for Blue Bloods.
yeah.
But yeah, no, The Equalizer. I believe it's it's their Sunday night prime show. It's their 9:00 show on Sunday night.
That's ridiculous.
That was it.
Okay.
That's it. I need to probably watch something that you guys recommended after I'm done with Ozark.
Caleb, anything else you watched?
Yeah,
or-
a couple things.
Okay.
I started watching Squid Game. I guess.
Yeah, I'm hearing the hype about this. What is like? I've
So-
read the description, but you explain.
It's a Korean show.
Okay.
And so you either have to watch it subtitled or dubbed, and the dub voice acting is really rough.
Okay.
So
I believe you.
take your choice of one of two bad things. But it's kind of like a TV show based on Danganronpa.
Oh, okay.
It's like they abduct all these people and they make them play these games and then eliminate them. There's a prize at the end. The less I say, the better, probably.
Is this
What
really
plot?
scripted or is this a real game?
No, this is absolutely scripted.
Okay.
This is 100% scripted.
Well, sometimes like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. No,
Eastern
this is
game shows can get a little weird.
It is crazy. I've only watched 3 episodes so far. I think there's 9 total. But I'm
Half hour,
100%
hour?
in. Hour.
Okay.
Yeah. It's I've heard that it gets crazier and crazier as it goes. I can see that, but right now they're in the phase where like they've done a couple of things, like they've done a couple of the games, and they're trying to figure out what's actually going on behind the scenes. And yeah, it's
Okay.
I can see the potential for this thing.
All right, I'm curious what your thought as this goes on. If
Yeah.
I'll end up watching this or not, I don't know. Yeah, it seems quirky and like weird.
Like everyone on the planet is watching this show. So
I feel like it is. Yeah, like I've heard it's just like the thing everybody's watching right now. So
the other, it's not new. It's months old now. But I watched all 6 episodes of Painting with John. Have you guys heard of this?
Yeah, it's HBO show.
Yeah, it's on HBO.
no, I'm not.
Apparently, it's incredible.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Especially if you are intoxicated in some way or another. It's basically like, okay, so it's this guy John who used to be a jazz musician. I had never heard of him before this, but he was famous, made a lot of money, and now he moved to some island in the Caribbean. He has a housekeeper and another worker. I don't know exactly the relationship, but it's basically a third of the show is him painting, like Bob Ross style. Well, you're only seeing the painting though. You're just seeing him.
Is he
painting.
talking like over
No,
it?
just music going while he's painting.
Okay.
A third of the show is him telling stories, and he has the greatest ASMR voice of all time.
Oh no!
It's
Don't tell me
incredible.
that.
His stories, sometimes they're good, sometimes it's like that was kind of a mediocre story, but it's like I was so into it the whole time because of your voice. And then
Okay.
a third of it is basically him interacting with his workers, and so there's really not a whole lot of structure to it. It's just kind of like whatever he decided to do on the show, he's gonna do.
It Metacritic's really high.
I love it. I really,
So you
really love
so you
it.
need to be in a couple different states, maybe.
And an
Like
artful escape kind of mind.
yeah, like or maybe just wanting to sleep. Like
Yeah.
if you want, if like
Oh.
turning on to fall asleep. Like if
Yep.
it's if it's literally painting and with some background music, or like him telling a story if he's got one of those voices, like
The end credits of each episode go for like 5 minutes. This is a half an hour show, so it's like a significant portion of the show is credits.
Okay.
But I watched the entire credits all the way through every episode because all they play this song. It's an amazing song, and then they just show his paintings and they like do a slow zoom in on the paintings as the credits are rolling. It's just great.
Painting with John
Yeah.
on HBO.
Yeah.
Okay.
6 episodes?
Half hour each.
I could do that. Oh, only half hour?
Yeah,
I
that's
could do that.
even.
I could do that.
Yeah, that's 3 hours. That's nothing.
Yep.
I don't know if I'll make it through an episode though. I'll probably fall right asleep, which might be its intention. Anything else?
Nothing else new, just stuff I'm keeping up on. Heels, American
Yeah.
Crime Story.
I need to watch
You need,
both of those.
You need to watch Heels.
Yeah. I
I
should watch Heels.
I watched I forgot I watched the first episode of American Crime Story.
It's not as good.
It's not very good.
How many episodes in are you, Caleb?
3? I think there's 3 out.
Gosh.
They're not going to match the OJ season. It's just not going to happen.
I was bored to tears. I don't think the girl that plays Monica is very good. I think she's not a
you're
very
right.
good actress at all. Sarah Paulson, FX, you don't have to put her in everything. It's really okay. You
but
don't have to put her in
She is
everything.
like the shining bright spot of this show.
I
though.
know.
She nailed it.
Yeah, but she always is. She's good at what she does, but I'm just like, maybe this one they could have had her sit out because nothing else is good around it. Like Clive Owen is also
He's
not
that good.
he's completely unbelievable as Bill Clinton.
I'm still entertained by this show because I guess I don't probably have the knowledge that you do of the situation. So I'm entertained in that sort of way.
Okay.
Like I don't know all the details of what happened in this story, so I'm sticking with it because of that. But
Yeah.
it's nowhere near the quality of that first season of that show, and it's probably not even the second season.
I forgot I even watched the first episode. That's how
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, oh wait, yeah, I did watch that, and I was like, this is not good. What we do in the shadows now, this season's great.
See, I am opposite.
Oh,
I
really?
actually gave up on it.
Really?
It's the same jokes every week.
Really? I've liked it a lot this
It's-
season.
I got bored watching it. I'm like,
Oh.
this is the same. You're doing the same episode with a slightly different storyline. I don't know. It's
I don't know. I still like this season.
it's
I think
totally fine.
I think
guess,
it's great.
But I got bored.
They never tried to he's never tried to have a love interest before. The one vampire guy, I forgot his name, but I don't know, I've lost track of all their names because they're all weird. But
Guillermo went from being
like trying
a
to
servant to now he's a bodyguard, and he tells the same jokes, and they do the same things to him every episode.
yeah, the Guillermo thing they need to figure out it because last season with Guillermo was interesting because he was trying to kill him last year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe
I did a pretty massive purge of shows that I watched because
Okay.
I was not keeping up with everything.
Mm,
So I literally dropped like 10 TV shows.
that's fair.
It felt
Well,
kind
it's
of nice, actually.
Video game season.
Yeah,
So.
that too.
Video game season
And
rolls
sports
around.
season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, football takes. Yeah, that's. I'm glad.
Football,
I have.
basketball starting. Baseball playoffs are starting.
Mm.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is that Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday is the American League. Wednesday is
Okay.
the
I had it backwards. I thought
Cardinals
it was Wednesday,
game.
Thursday was the. Yeah, I just was only paying attention to the Wednesday game anyway. So. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, this has been the Master of Unlocking podcast for this week, and whenever the hell we feel like doing it again, just all depends on where we are.
It could be tomorrow. It could be like 5 weeks.
It could be.
You don't know.
I don't
Watch
know.
your ass, internet.
We're coming for you.